In this video today, we're just going to change the clocks on this Lexmoto ZSB 125. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a note of the mileage, just so that we can keep our records good, because the new clocks will have a new mileage on, so we'll need to work out when all the service intervals and everything are. So I'll just make a note of the old mileage plus the insurance company. Probably going to have kittens anyway, so yeah, let's take some pictures of that. Okay, and our mileage is 4228. You can see that the speedometer isn't jumping around, but I'm going to be stopping 10mm spanner. Quite like these ratchet ones. Cheap piece from Aldi, really good. And we're going to need the Phillips screwdriver to remove the headlamp. I think what we'll do is stick a cloth there on the mudguard, take the headlamp lens out, and we can disconnect the clocks. At this point it's probably actually a good idea to talk about the lighting mods I've done on this bike. So you can see here I've broken into this white line here, put this connection on. So this is the one that goes off to run the auxiliary lighting, so it runs from the low beam light. You see I've put a male and a female on, so if everything does go horribly wrong, you can just actually connect it straight back up again without doing any wiring change. So if it lets you down in the street, just cut these off and reconnect it. It's not a problem. So just to quickly go through this, show how it works. So this now goes off, goes to a light switch here. There's a three-way switch here, which gives us the auxiliary light, no light at all, which I quite like. There was no way to turn the lights off before, and the headlamp, the low beam. High beam's not interrupted. High beam's here. If you flick high beam on, high beam comes on. Or if you hit the flasher, you get a flasher. So the good thing about this setup, and I really like it with the daytime riding light, is that you can run the daytime riding light and your headlamp. It doesn't interfere with the headlamp usage in any way, except you can't have low beam and riding light, which you sort of wouldn't ever want to really do. You know, if you're riding at night, you need to turn this off anyway. It sort of does blind you because it sends so much light out. So for nighttime riding, not this bike does a lot of nighttime riding, or even nighttime A-road riding, you just revert back to position 2 on the switch, which just gives you normal headlamp use. Okay, so I've undone the 4 bolts from here, 4 nuts, sorry, popped that off, and then just taking the clock off. I can now waggle things around and work out which wire is which. I can see that this goes to here, and I've got another connection down there, so just undo them connections and the clock is free. Okay, so disconnecting this is the sender unit from the speedometer. It's a little bit awkward, so what you do is that's actually connected in, and what you do is sort of like that. You can see the top of it in there, like that. You just put your finger in and you just flick that little switch there. You can see that, flick that, and that sort of lifts a little catch inside. It's a little bit awkward, and you can see that. I'll show it out there. So you just press that, put your finger there, press it down, out it comes. So that's the clocks now free. Okay, so before I go any further, I've connected the clocks back up. I've roughly connected everything back up, plugged the 2 connectors in there and connected up the Speedo drive, the sender unit. Before I fasten everything up, I'm just going to check everything's going to work. Not that I don't trust breakers, but they tend to have these things in boxes. They're probably not tested it before it comes out, so I'm just going to give it a quick test, make sure it hasn't got the same fault. That way, if it is bad and needs to go back, I don't have to take all the bikes apart. So let's just let's see. Okay, so that's a good start. Looks like the Revy's checking out and the fuel gauge is working, and the mileometer's working okay. It's got a trip reset, and the trip reset seems to work okay. Right, let's start the bike up. Okay, so that looks fine. That looks like it's the problem sorted. There's no jumping around the Speedo there. I think I'll just fasten everything up and then we just take it for a little test ride, make sure it's okay. It's actually quite awkward to get back onto the rubbers there, but taking this bracket off is a right absolute nightmare. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little bit of help. I'm going to put some silicone rubber spray on there. Hopefully I can just push that on now. Right, so that was actually a bit of a faff. That was quite awkward to get on. don't be tempted to hit it with anything, just keep waggling it and spray some WD on the things. Eventually went on. I think it's just because of the position of the ignition switch really here at the top. It's just a bit awkward really. It's gone on now. So I'll just we'll bang the nuts in and put the headlamp lens back on, and we're done. Okay, so success, we're all done. Everything seems to work. Indicators, high beam,